Codex, Cursor, and Claude Code are without any doubt the most powerful tools for software development we've ever had. And saying that these AI tools polarize is, I think, pretty much an understatement. Some people say that it will replace the entire software development by tomorrow, and other people are a bit more skeptical concerning that. But I think the value these tools bring are definitely undisputed. And you can build stuff faster than ever before, right? But it's also easier than ever before to kind of lose track of what you're actually doing and not understand what's actually going on, right? So I think that as of right now, at least, AI tools are still a skill you have to master. You have to have experience and knowledge to use them. And two very different people, maybe one person who has experience in software development, can generate much better results than someone who hasn't. And in this video, I want to talk to you guys about the 4 biggest mistakes I think you should definitely avoid doing when using these AI coding tools for software development, because I've been essentially adapting these tools since inception, since the first versions of Claude Code, Codex, or Cursor, and I run into a lot of mistakes and issues that everyone else should hopefully avoid. And especially the fourth one is super important because it's not only about giving a wrong prompt, but it's definitely also about kind of keeping your sanity and, psychological health, I guess, because this is also a big point in AI-assisted coding, which, can make you feel very exhausted, as maybe some of you guys know. So let's jump right in. And the first rule is be the master of your project, right? So when using these AI coding tools, it's very tempting to just accept all the suggestions and add a file, change a component, install a package, and so on. And for quick prototyping, that can be fine, right? But if you build something real that has users, and those users, they will upload some data, and the users get used to how the software is working, and you do have, accounts with authentication and so on and so forth, and maybe even people paying money, not really knowing the whole architecture of the product and how kind of all these components and systems work within each other is definitely a way to chaos and destruction. Because you never really know with every refactor, even if you have automated tests and so on, if the software will still work the way, the users used to using it. And while AI is pretty good at generating code, it often isn't so good at really understanding kind of the scope and goal of your project, your user, and what you're trying to achieve, and all of that stuff. And while you might create something like an MD file where you specify all of that, there's still this kind of lack of real understanding, in my opinion. So my rule here for that is that AI can be a great sparring partner, telling you advantages and disadvantages of certain architectures and implementing all the boilerplate code you don't want to do, also doing suggestions and explanations here and there. But it shouldn't do the decisions, right? And you should kind of still be the owner and the architect of the project and not let AI do kind of all the decisions, right? So let's jump into rule number 2, which is that you should only ship apps and web apps and any kind of product you create to production in frameworks that you actually know. So we do have to differentiate here between a quick prototype of something that looks cool versus an actual production-ready product with users, with maybe subscriptions, authentications, accounts, personal data, and so on. So these are two very different things. And of course, it's super fun to improvise with AI and maybe create something in a language and a framework you've never ever used before and you don't really understand, letting AI explain what it actually does. And this is great for learning, and I really appreciate that about AI coding, and I really would also recommend to do that yourself. But if you plan on creating an actual app that should go to the App Store and that will receive updates in the future and will have users and in-app purchases, well, then also using some kind of framework you've never ever used and you don't know about is really a bad idea. And I think here you still have kind of the same rule that we had before. Kind of AI came into existence, and this is that you, in the worst case, have to be able to do debugging and code changes the good old manual way. And you also have to understand if approaches that AI suggests actually makes sense. And this is something I very often notice also in working with Unity. So I would say kind of my home turf here in terms of development would be working with Unity and doing web development with things like React, Next, Express, or Node. And I'd often notice that approaches that the AI chooses are not really the gold standard or something that I, as a more experienced developer, would do in this situation. And so it kind of gets lost in some kind of approach that will never work in the end or will be like super, super cumbersome to do, which is a very bad practice, right? So it essentially tries sometimes to make things work or force things to work which aren't actually meant to work in that way. So before creating something that should actually become a production-ready app, I would always ask myself, so in case that all of the AI assistants would vanish tomorrow, would I still be able to kind of work on that project, do debugging and development by myself? And if the answer is no, then you definitely can still do some learning, right? So this is also still possible in the age of AI. Just learn new frameworks manually, the good old way. And that's kind of tightly tied to the rule number 3, which is keep the learning high, right? So one of the biggest traps I ran into with AI coding is that, well, you just let the AI create the code or the project and you don't really learn anything new, right? So you just let it do it. And then you're kind of content with whatever is the outcome. And that might feel productive because you generate that much code and you make so much progress all the time. But in the long term, it actually makes you weaker in creating software and creating code. And so I try to interact with the code as much as possible. So I ask the AI why things are done like that in the first way. And I try to challenge the AI. Why not do it this way? And let's try to do an alternative here. And I check the documentation and maybe other sources from the internet that are not created by AI. Because the goal is not to just get code that actually works, but the goal is essentially to stay a person that understands kind of why certain approaches work and why other approaches don't, and why you build the code the way it's built, and not just accept the first best solution, right? So I would say make sure that actually AI accelerates your learning and make sure that you get smarter every day by using AI. Even if this theoretically slows the development and you generate less features or code, because you will still be plenty fast when using AI, you will still have that accelerated development, but you still need to learn and understand more each day. It's super important. And that very much leads to rule number 4, which is something that I noticed and that also helps me, kind of keeps my sanity. Which is do not let AI outrun your judgment, right? Because AI coding can put this strange pressure on you that you have to create everything in a day. And you kind of just have to implement feature by feature by feature. And only because you can implement a lot of new stuff that you have to do it super, super fast. And this is something that technically might work, but it doesn't mean that you should do it, because there are a lot of downsides to it. One also is psychologically, because kind of the AI outpaces your kind of mental judgment and your velocity kind of in actually understanding what's going on and understanding how these components that you just created kind of work all together, right? So product quality, in my opinion, even if you build something, is not just about how fast you can generate code, but it's rather about choosing the right thing to build and keep the user experience simple, avoid unnecessary complexity, and also not burning out yourself mentally, right? So you can only do that if you kind of slow down the development a little bit, go step by step, and I always see AI as an accelerator, but there's also kind of a mental limit on how fast you can accelerate something before you burn out yourself. This feeling of making progress without actually understanding is definitely something you should avoid. Because in the end, I think the goal is not to build anything, but rather to build the right thing with the right quality. Yeah, and I think these are the four most important things I learned when doing AI coding, and I would be super interested in what you guys learned. I hope we can discuss a bit in the comments below. But until then, as always, thanks a lot for watching and see you next time.